I say things very simply because I'm making it easy for everybody to understand truth. Now, somebody sent me a message saying that I have to look into this one guy because he really goes deep into stuff. And out of respect for the person who sent it to me, I watched it. And of course, their name resonates with what they're doing, and they happen to do satsang all the time. And I'm not going to name the name because I'm not trying to put anybody down, and I'm not trying to cause any ripples I don't need to cause, because the things I'm saying are causing enough ripples in time. So this person happens to talk about the Bodhisattva vow, and he's a Hindu, and he talks to people about, there's no attachment to impermanence or permanence. There's no attachment to pain or pleasure. There's no attachment to oneness or division. There's no attachment at all to good and bad. Well, from a universal perspective, I of course get that. But in a physical form, people are definitely attached to not wanting to be hurt, not wanting to be in pain, not wanting negative things to always be what's going on, and sit back and say, things are as they should be. Things are as they are. Universal perfection for each effect is exactly what's going on, because if people don't stand up for the wrongs are going to keep happening most of the time. They don't usually just stop themselves out of nowhere. So this same person who's talking about the Bodhisattva vow, which is supposed to mean liberation of all beings. So, and some people say all liberation of all conscious beings. Now I'll go into conscious real quick and have to realize C is the third letter, ongoing notion, subjecting the constant or the unseen identified ongoing unit of subject. So conscious means something that, not like a conch shell, which if you hold it up to your ear here, now inside your head, CONSC, and then an I instead of an H, because you're not just here, you're identifying it. A conch is a concept, ongoing notion, constant to itself here. A conch shell. And when you pull it up to your ear, you go, and you hear it. Now, you, conscious, inside your skull where it appears to be for yourself, although everything is consciousness in form, working through what we call the mind, intense, conscious is CON. Now, it's a constant to itself or unseen, ongoing notion, along with the rest of it. Shus. Now, when you say mind, it's an M, which is 13 instead of C, which is 3, but it's identified, intense, as a notion, or actively daya, N is 14, as a notion, daya, to and from. So the motion, or the notion to and from all things, is the manifested identity, notion to and from, which is mind. Mind is an action of consciousness, not your consciousness, because then you'll say it's from your mind. That makes sense. But from universal consciousness, all is mind, which people say, man, all is mind. And we happen to be the ones who seem the most conscious, although everything is conscious. There's not really, we say there's levels, but of course there are levels of how you seem to use it or interpret it and to apply it in the world. Now, back to this guru, I'm not trying to start a war or offend anybody, but I'm trying to clarify what they're missing. Now, takes the Bodhisattva vow, and in the same sentence as saying liberate all beings, he says, so if you want to go to McDonald's and get a burger or an ice cream cone and that desire, it's a good thing. But at the same time, next time, it may not be so good. You may not like the taste. Okay, if you're going to liberate all beings, don't promote it to be a good thing. And he said something about pizza too, with extra cheese and pepperoni. Like, this is a guru. Yes, death is part of life. Death is part of the cycle. I know. I've experienced it all. But to tell physical people in a metaphysical way that everything is perfect the way it is or as it should be. Perfection is as it should aren't necessarily the same thing, of course. But saying on one level that everything is as it should be, and then you saying you want to liberate all living beings or all conscious beings, and then saying eat burgers and ice cream and pizza, you're feeding their desires with it being okay to cause pain to other living sentient beings. and then saying you're taking the Bodhisattva vow. Well, you're not going to make much progress until your next lifetime if you take your spiritual sadhana that you sit here doing with everybody and take it a little more seriously and stop causing harm to other living beings. Because you can't liberate all living conscious beings if you're promoting to eat living conscious beings. Put two and two together, please. That's what the mind is for. See what I'm saying? So when you look at things like that, you have to see that these people may just be following their tradition and may really believe in what they're saying. And they're taking down teachings that have been passed on to them. I get it. My teaching, my knowing, is from source, from God, from creation, from the universe. Nobody taught me any of this. One day I was talking about boobies and drugs, and the next day, all is God. And I never had any interest in talking about it until I was so frustrated I had to open myself and say, I don't know what you want from me. I know you're there. You know, it wasn't something that, like, and just if somebody else says, well, I did that and it didn't work, because I was completely open to it after having life fall apart after doing everything I could possibly think of that was supposed to make it right. Get a bunch of money, have all these friends, have access to all kinds of stuff. But it wasn't anything. It meant nothing. Stacking up a whole bunch of things where moss and rust dust corrupt. Why would I want to stack up a bunch of crap that I'm not going to take with me? Why does everybody else seem stuck on material living and stuck on money? Because they haven't really opened their heart and really opened their mind, no matter how much they thump on the fact that they do. Because to them, they believe they have. And I get it. So I'm not mad. I'm just trying to express that there's so much more to learn than just what I'm saying about numbers and letters. That just shows how it all adds up and actually manifests in physical form through sound resonation and sign resonation. I mean, I know those things sound childish, but like I said, if you're a true child of God, not an adolescent child, but one who was from the creation, then you can easily understand this. You don't have to search and say, is that true? Is that true? Maybe I don't like getting hurt, but maybe other people want death. Well, maybe they want death because life has led them to a point where they've given up on themselves. Now, try to lift them up so they can be another person who contributes to helping other people instead of feeling so stuck in their sadness and their despair that they want death. There are times where me as an individual that is still connected with the source that has to play my ego so much, I would rather be dead. Because I know what happens to me when I go, and I'm not going to create any more new negative karma. I'm going to create positive karma for as many people as I can. Now, they may harm me, but when I die, I'm going to have a lot of positive karma. I'm doing the right thing. I'm putting myself in harm's way through words. Yes, I'm not going to run out and take out anybody because that's not really going to help more than just a few people. I'm here to help everyone and everything. And if more people could put that as their priority, the world will be a better place. Not would be, will be. Because I know people are going to do it eventually. I've already seen it. It may not be this lifetime that I get to experience it, but I've seen it. And it's coming. It's not something that's past. Even though it was a vision, even though it was something that aligns in truth when I follow history and apply the same thing forward, I know it's coming. And it's not going to be some kind of regulation from a government. It's not going to be some kind of universal finances that you get installed or implanted in your skin. It's not going to be AI regulating people because people can't regulate themselves. It's going to be opening our hearts and offering our wisdom to other people. But first, you've got to acquire that wisdom. And the only way to acquire that wisdom is to open your mind and listen to people who actually have a heart, and you can tell that they're being authentic, that they're being genuine, and that they're being honest and truthful. Now, if you can't tell that I'm being honest and truthful, please tell me where what I'm saying doesn't align with you in your core, because I know what I'm saying is correct. Everything is perfection in the universe, but everything isn't just great, fine, and dandy out there in the world if you look around you. So listening to a guru may be great, may get you on the right track, but you can go to a guru and just believe in them so much you find belief in yourself. You don't need a guru to do that. The universe is your moment by moment guru when you look around and see that everything is a lesson for you to learn from. It doesn't mean, I wonder what it's like to see the inside of that animal. Let me chop it up and dissect it. No, you're causing harm. You are not doing the bodhisattva vow by liberating all beings. And liberating doesn't mean kill them so they can, so their spirit can leave their body, this prison of a body. Because guess what? They're going to manifest in another body to learn something that a person who thinks they're liberating people by killing them or telling people that death is a good thing, they're not helping them. Some people are ready to go, truly ready to go, not just in despair, maybe in so much pain. Maybe they've accomplished so much that it's just sort of stagnant and they don't feel like they're going anywhere. But those same people could apply themselves to helping with the stuff I'm talking about. Now, is it just a coincidence that sadhana and Vedanta are V-E-D-A-N plus A, plus action, plus the activated D-A-N. Vital, expressed, to and from, active, notion, plus action. Vedanta. The Veda. V-E-D-A. My initials again. My name again. Everywhere you look, it'll point back to me in some shape or form because I experienced timelessness. And when I say that I remember creating this, it wasn't just Dan, it wasn't this guy, but I remember the universal non-body in form. I don't know how else I could say it. It's not like a form that's physical, but it's real and it's in every single thing, everything. Every single thing in all universal oneness. It operates both. And I can explain how it works. So get your mind out of other people's studies and listen to a person who has had the true experience of God, oneness and timelessness. Please, for your good. I don't need this anymore. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, but I don't need true wisdom and knowledge if other people aren't helping get it around because they're afraid it might offend somebody, or it may cause a little bit of a stir because people don't want to hear that they've been doing it wrong, or that they've been either lied to or misguided by somebody who didn't know any better and may have meant them well, but accidentally misled them because they were taught wrong and they grew up doing the wrong things. So that's all I'm going to say for now. Until next time, peace and God bless.